Okay, so today's video we're actually going to be going over some of the legendary, if not all the legendary weapons. Now I don't have access to all the legendary weapons, however I will be showing clips of other people using their legendary weapons, you know, giving them credit, shouting them out, things of that nature. Now I'm going to be showing all legendary weapons, and also I'm going to be saying which ones are actually worth grinding for. And at this current moment of time, they're actually all worth grinding for, if we're being quite honest. Anyways, starting off with the vermillion, since I have it. I actually got super lucky. I wasn't even expecting to get this, but I did get it yesterday. And the vermillion is actually really interesting. It gives a bunch of agility. Honestly, almost double. It's not double, but it gives more agility. Only has one more physical damage, and it gives a 2% crit chance with 8 spirit. I don't really care about the spirit. However, the passive of the vermillion is what makes it super interesting. Critical hits with the vermillion unleash a burst of fairy arrows that strike additional enemies in a small radius around the target. So essentially it's like a mini rain of arrows every single time you hit a critical chance or critical strike, or you crit in general, and it's infinite, so there's no cooldown to it. Now the issue in this build, or the build I have currently, is that I only have an 11% crit chance. I am not able to fully maximize the efficiency of this bow. Now, Elder gear doesn't actually give crit chance, but there are end game gear that actually boost your crit chance rating. But obviously, I don't have it. And obviously, if you do know, agility also increases your critical chance strike, your chance of hitting crits as well. So high agility, high crit chance. You can actually maximize this build, but I'm not gonna do it on this slot. Probably won't do it at all because this is just a farming slot and I don't care. Now, just to give an example of the way the crit works, I'm just going to use this here, this move. Hopefully a crit happens here. 14, and if you look carefully, there was like a little rain of arrows. Now, I'm not too sure how to show you guys efficiently, and the reason why I'm not sure how to show you efficiently is the bear here. Anyways, the only reason I'm not able to show you efficiently is because I have a super low crit chance. But trust and believe me when I say this is super OP if you're able to maximize the efficiency of the crit chance happening. Honestly, you can one-shot a lot of mobs. Let's see if I can hit a crit chance here. Look, you can see a little mini rain of arrows come down. Another mini rain. So we hit that twice in one rain of arrows. Again, you just have to get super lucky. But trust me when I say the vermillion's passive is actually really good. So in order to obtain this weapon, you need to fight the red birds. The red birds in the swamp, great forest area, the most annoying mobs in the game. Well, they're actually pretty easy to fight now, but yeah, you get the point. Fighting them is what gets you the bow. So as you can see, look, each M1 I'm doing more damage because of the passive of the sword. It decreases his armor, which is actually really good. And if I end up ever maxing out this build, it'll actually be pretty crazy because I'll be doing a lot more damage. I'm not gonna lie, what the heck was that fight? But yeah, the damage is pretty decent, 32 in M1. And again, this build isn't maxed out. Yes, I mid-maxed this armor, but this isn't even as strong as I could get, and I just wasted some lessers on it. If I actually max this build out, I could actually get up to about 60 or 70 in M1 when this has max stacks. Now I do have two Viridians. However, they don't stack with each other when you have a dual wield on. So it's a little bit midi to dual wield. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't like dual wield M1s on warrior. It's actually kind of bad, in my opinion. But the Viridian is actually really good. So if you read the passive, Attacking with the Viridian applies a debuff to enemies called Blightened, which reduces the defenses by 5% for 5 seconds. And that actually max stacks at, I think, 25%. So, I'm not gonna lie, that's actually really strong. Again, dual wielding doesn't apply both passives. If you manage to get a second sword with a good passive, you can put it on and put it on your offhand. I didn't even put my warrior sash on. But yeah, max build with the Viridian, it's actually super OP, genuinely. Again, look at this build. This build has the bare minimum. I don't even have any rings on it. Yeah, I'm using the best helmet, but the armor is pretty trash. Alright, kind of want my board to take aggro here. Now I'm gonna worry about aura. 29, 30, 32, 35. I don't even have enrage on. 37 in M1, 40 in M1. Remember, this is while enrage. 42 in M1. Really strong. Really strong. I forgot to pop enrage. That was an accident. What was that lag? I'm not gonna lie, I think with enrage and battle aura, I could go up to 60. I need a better way of showing this without the mob I'm fighting literally dying instantly. I think we could go up to 60 in M1. We got what, 40 in M1 with battle aura. We got about what was that, 40 or 47 in M1 with battle aura and max stacks. We didn't have enrage on. So I think Berserker with this weapon, we can actually go pretty high here. Now you can obtain this weapon through the goblin camp. It doesn't matter if it's the boss or the other goblins. You farm those goblins, you will eventually get the vermillion. In my opinion, one of the best weapons in the game currently. The next legendary weapon is the Armageddon. Now that is the mage staff, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it might be the best designed weapon in the whole of this game. Now the Armageddon is actually very powerful. It gives 12 physical damage, 34 intellect, 8 spirit, and 3 magic crit. And every time you deal damage with a spell, a burst of hellfire will erupt from your target, and this effect has a 6-second cooldown. Now I'm not gonna lie, Armageddon is stronger than the spider bow, the Anacrid staff, whatever it's called. I said spider bow, I meant to say spider staff. And it's a little bit questionable on which one's like actually better. Now the Armageddon has better stats, so technically it does make you stronger. However, the spider bows or the spider staff's passive is consistently active. Like you hit someone with the poison proc or the poison effect from the staff, and it consistently comes out. The burst damage, the DPS from the spider staff is consistent and it's always there. Whereas the Armageddon goes on a 6-second cooldown. Now 6-second cooldown is not long. However, in a fight, in any sort of combat scenario, 6 seconds can be a long time. Now I haven't actually seen the Armageddon in action. I only know one person with it that got it whilst we were farming it in the stream that happened yesterday. So I haven't actually seen it in action, but I'm very sure it's still very powerful. And if you don't know, you get the Armageddon through fighting imps and fiends in hell. Next we have Ragnarok. Now Ragnarok is actually super powerful. Ragnarok is crazy. It's actually a really good weapon. Now it has the best stats for daggers, and if you have dual wield, you can, you know, combine both the weapons to increase your damage quite significantly. However, the passives do not stack, so dual wielding it might be a little bit silly when you can actually get dual passives. So let's say you have a spider dagger with the poison pool. Poison dagger with Ragnarok is actually a really good combo combo, because of the slow from Ragnarok, when the pool of poison drops, the player's going to be inside that pool for a little bit longer. The pool's going to have a greater effect on the opponent with Ragnarok's passive. I do think it's very powerful. However, having 2 Ragnaroks will significantly increase your damage because Ragnarok's stats are way better than Spider Dagger's stats. So there's that. Well, is that Ragnarok looks super cool. It's definitely worth grinding for. I'm not gonna lie, it's, in my opinion, it might be the hardest legendary to get because I just wasn't getting any of them whilst farming compared to the rest of these legendaries. Honestly, it's so crazy. And if you've seen Vert's video, you can see how powerful it is when you put that combo together. Ugh, dirty. Don't know why he's giving up the source. I ain't gonna lie. Now this is gonna get nerfed. Hopefully they don't nerf. Okay, next we have the sandshooter. I'm not gonna lie to you, sandshooter is really good right now. If you get a free slot sandshooter, get a rune carver, slap some good runes on it, it might be one of the best weapons in the game, or at least great swords. At least sandshooter's rework is definitely really good now. The crit with the sandstorm actually deals a lot of health or damage per tick now, so it's actually super good. It's actually really good. I'm not gonna lie to you. Now, if you don't know, you can get sandshooter by going to the Colosseum, doing the quest defeating Drogar, and then you do the second quest where you have to defeat the wolf guy and just farm that over and over, and you can get the sandshooter. Literally, it's very simple. You can get the sandshooter, you can get the shield. So yeah, definitely worth grinding for right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. Very good. And then we have another legendary greatsword, which is the Runeblade. Now, the Runeblade, you are able to upgrade it, and it's probably the hardest thing to upgrade in this game. You got to fight that rune golem quite a few times, but upgrade the rune blade or rune greatsword, whatever you want to call it, the rune sword, and it becomes, I don't even know the name of the, I don't know how to pronounce the name of it. Anyways, it's a legendary weapon. It actually has a really good crit, deals holy damage or magic damage, sorry, one of the two, and it has quite a big AoE. However, I don't think it's better than sandshooter in my opinion. The design is kind of funny looking, looks like a giant toothpick, but I don't think it's better than sandshooter. That's just my opinion. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't really feel like it's worth grinding for. You gotta fight that rune golem a couple times. Rune golem is beatable. It's actually not that hard if you have a solid group of 4 or 5 people. Solid group, not trash group, solid group. 4 or 5 people, you can defeat it quite easily. And you can server hop for it quite easily too. So I mean, I guess if you want to grind for it, you can, but at the same time, in my opinion, I'd rather just not. Next we have the stupid pitchfork. This is honestly the worst legendary. It deals damn near no damage. The crit sucks. Fire damage in this game's kind of irrelevant in my opinion. Fire damage in this game sucks, genuinely. Yeah, man, there are craftable swords that deal more damage than this legendary spear, pitchfork, whatever you want to call it. I honestly don't think it's worth grinding for. However, I'm very sure you obtained this by grinding fiends inside of hell, so it's kind of hard to get in the first place, and once you do get it, it's kind of mid. It's kind of mid. You want to ask me, hey Agz, what order would you put these legendary weapons in? I would say this is it. This is the order I would put them in. Now, S tier, I just placed everything I thought that was good in S tier. There's actually no order to anything. And in A tier, I put the Runeblade upgraded greatsword, mainly because first of all, the damage is split with the M1s. And in my opinion, you could probably make it super high, but in my opinion, I don't think it's that great. The critical does have a really large AoE, but again, in my opinion, I don't think it's all that either. As well as that, in order to even upgrade the Runeblade to the actual like good version of it, the legendary strong version of it, you have to get some really hard to get drops from the rune golem, which would require you to farm it over and over again. So in my opinion, it's just not the best. Though it is still powerful, I don't know. I would rather farm Sand Golem. I would rather farm the other greatsword, the Sandshooter. That's just my opinion. And then the legendary spear, the pitchfork. Honestly, there's just no point of farming for this. You're probably gonna end up getting it whilst you're farming for Armageddon anyways. But yeah, this is just my opinion. You can reorder it how you like. You can have a different opinion. It's fair. Let me know if you agree with any of the orders or the legendaries in general in the comment section down below. That's it from me. We'll see you guys later. Good luck farming. Peace.